Hello, it's 9 p.m. in Art. This time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have the head of state presides over the work of the sixth meeting of the Council of Ministers. For the international scene in Europe of Emmanuel Macron versus the Europe of Marine Le Pen at the presidential election. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the chairmanship of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, head of government, took place this Tuesday, April 12, 2022. The sixth sessions of the Council of Ministers, the following texts were examined and approved. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, the first question is communication on the national solidarity between continuity of social action and response plan. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity made a communication to the Council of Ministers on the theme of national solidarity entitled Between Continuity of Social Actions and Response Plan in the context of the month of Ramadan and all the impact of the exogenous shock suffered by our most vulnerable populations due to the drought and the inflations of the prices of basic commodities. The President of the Republic wanted to put national solidarity at the heart of his governmental actions. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity presented all the actions carried out by her department in the framework of emergencies aid. She indicated that the national social protection flow is a two-dimensional strategy with basic guarantee. The Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity targets households in extremes and relative poverty and focuses on people over 65-year-old children with special needs, victims of calamities, university and high school students from poor households, and refugees, migrant populations. To strengthen human capital, the Ministry implements social programs in the areas of food, health, education, infrastructure, and empowerment, exit from the poverty. Thus, to improve food and nutrition security, the Ministry conduct various programs and projects that provide the necessary social assistance. This strategy is being implemented simultaneously on the two fronts. On the one hand, to continue and strengthen existing social programs, and on the other hand, to implement appropriate emergencies aid programs. Thus, in the areas of food security, 4,500 needy households have benefited from monetary and quasi-monetary transfers in Djibouti City, and 12,614 inland regions. In the 17,114 households throughout the countries, the minister also focused on the special Ramadan solidarity actions, where she presented an emergency plan of social response to face the crisis and allow our most exposed populations to benefit from support and food aid during this blessed period, both in the capitals, in the 5 interior regions. The coverage of these operations has enabled us to reach nearly 12,000 households living in the poverty. In total, the ministry was able to cover 35,000 poor families through the countries, either through cash transfer and in-kind food distribution. The objective of all these actions is to support, relieve, and cover the gap in food insecurity of vulnerable families, either through the quarterly payment to each family of an amount of 30,000 francs, but through the distributions of food in kind free of charges of essential commodities. It should also be noted that the ministry, through the social and health assistance program, commonly known as PASS, and thanks to 100% national financing from the AMI fund, has achieved a near total coverage rate of poor and extremely poor households through the countries. Thus, between the beneficiaries of continuous cash transfers covered during the month of Ramadan and the punctual assistance provided, the Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity is preparing the most shock prone segments of the population for a better resilience in order to get out of poverty. She emphasized that our country, with the leadership of its president, has been able to mobilize and make available all the necessary financial resources to assist our vulnerable population subject to shocks, and so that no one is left behind. This diversified and holistic approach aims at making our society more resilient to social shock resilience. The Presidency of the Republic, the second issue, draft decree establishing the National Technical Committee in charge of implementation, monitoring, and evaluations of the National Disability Strategy 2021-2025 of the Republic of Djibouti. The purpose of the draft decree is to create a National Technical Committee in charge of monitoring and evaluating the implementation of the National Disability Strategy 2021-2025 of the Republic of Djibouti. The draft decree specifies the missions and compositions of the committee, including representatives of the various ministerial departments involved in the promotion and protection of the rights of persons with disability. This committee is responsible for creating coordination and synergy of the various sectoral interventions in the field of disability. The adoption of the draft decree aims at ensuring greater coherence and efficiency in the framework of the effective implementation of the national disability. The second issue, the issue 3 draft decree of the renewal of the member of the board of the directors of the National Agency for State Information System. The purpose of the draft decree is to renew the member of the board of the director of the National Agency for State Information System in accordance with the provisions of Decree number 2015-287 PR on the organizations and functioning of these institutions. The member of the board of the director of ANSI are appointed for a 3-year term. The Minister of Higher Education and Research first questions draft order granting authorizations to open and non-private to run a private higher institution school of the management of Djibouti. It is granted to the School of Management of Djibouti. The authorization is to open a private higher education institution, and this in accordance with the provisions of the Article 25 of the Decree number 214/121 PR mentioned. This school will provide university trainings in the field of science and computer management communication. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation reported on the state visit of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, to Ethiopia from 27 to 29 March 2022. During this visit, the head of state has had a meeting with the Ethiopian Prime Minister, His Excellency Abiy Ahmed Ali. The minister also reported on the meeting of the political dialogue between the Republic of Djibouti and the European Union, which was held on 6 April 2022 in our country. The Minister of Energy in charge of natural resources reported on the missions of the first sessions of the Arab Ministerial Councils for Electricity, which was held from 22 to 23 March 2022 in Doha. The Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development reported on the high-level meeting of the ministers of IGAD member countries in the framework of the signing of the IGAD Regional Blue Economy Strategy 2021-2025, which was held on April 1st, 2022 in Addis Ababa. The Minister of City, Urban Planning and Housing reported on her working visit to Kuwait from 27 to 31 March 2022. The Minister of Youth and Culture reported on the ministerial sessions within the framework of the World Summit of Governments under the theme of national and Arab context of the youth work sectors, which was held from 28 to 13 March 2022 in Dubai. The Minister Delegate in charge of decentralization made a mission report on his working mission visit to the Kingdom of Morocco from 25 to 13 March 2022. During this visit, the minister signed a memorandum of understanding of cooperation with the Minister of Interior of the Kingdom of Morocco. The Minister Delegate in charge of digital economy and innovation reported on her working visit to Saudi Arabia from March 13 to 31, 2022. On the occasion of the World Health Day 2022, on the theme of Our Planet, Our Health, the Ministry of Health, through the Directorate of Health Promotion, has organized awareness and social mobilization activity in the capital and the 5 regions of the interior. Thus, the Department of Health aims through this celebration is the opportunity to draw the attention of our fellow citizens on the urgent measures to be taken in order to maintain humans and the planet in good health. It should be recalled that the kickoff of these activities of awareness and mobilization communities was launched by His Excellency the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble, during his statement on the airwaves of RTD on Thursday, April 7, 2022. Climate change has been described as the greatest global health threat in recent years, which a high frequency of climate-related health risks and deaths due to the malnutrition and increased spread of vectors, home diseases such as malaria and others. Since the beginning of the years, the Djibouti Road Agency has begun the annual maintenance programs of urban roads and interior regions. These vast rehabilitation programs provided for the maintenance of the main roads used by the public transport. To date, several priority sections have already been repaired, such as Plus PICA 12, the road leading of the University of Djibouti, the road leading the campus keys and the intersections of the FMP and Gela. Other renovations works are currently underway on Sheikh Hamad Avenue and Mbuli Square. It is planned to repair the Venice Road and several other roads most used by the road users, such as Engela Crossroad, the Poudrière Quartier 7 Road and Nasser Avenue during the next 6 months. A team from RTD went this morning to Sheikh Hamad Avenue to see up close the work being done by the ADR. Subsequently, the same teams went to the Place PICA 12 to see the repairs work already done. Finally, the drivers of buses and tricycles of the PICA 12 area said they were pleased with the repair work because the traffic flow is more fluid and the congestion is caused by the potholes has decreased significantly. The National Agency for Persons with Disability has signed a partnership agreement with the company Djibouti Mobile ID. This partnership agreement aims to set the general framework of partnership between ANPH and the Djibouti Mobile ID in terms of access to online services on public administration, commercial sites, and banks for people with disability. Djibouti Mobile ID is a Djiboutian company. It develops authentication services, universal and secure, to access a wide range of online services offered by merchant sites, banks, businesses, and public administrations. It is an authentication methods allowing a person to identify himself to access an online services thanks to his smartphone and his personal identification numbers. The general managers of the company, Djibouti ID, Vincent Brunel, is pleased with this partnership agreement, and by the same occasion he congratulates the ANPH for its noble missions and encourages it to move forward. The ceremony ended with the atmosphere of a good understanding and finally a group photo. For his part, the General Directors of the National Agency for Persons with Disability, Douale Saeed Mahamoud, emphasized in his speech that the company Djibouti Mobile ID comes at the time when the ANPH is in the process of digitizations and modernizations of its offerings. On this occasion, Djibouti Mobile ID will join the ANPH to achieve these objectives. On Monday, April 11, 2022, an important delegation led by the prefect of the Obok region, Abdul Malik Mohammed Benoita, went to the locality of Bosali in the sub-prefectures of Korangar to inquire about the overall situations of the population of this locality and its surrounding. The Bosali locality was chosen for the distributions of foodstuffs on the occasion of the month of Ramadan. On arrival, the delegation was welcomed by the sub-prefect of Korangar, Muhammad Ali Umar, and the elders and the localities where they were given us a warm welcome during our meetings with the elders of the locality. The prefect, as well as the authorities, was accompanying him first thanks to the populations for their warm welcome in a particular context marked by the fastings of the blessed month of Ramadan. They noted that in passing that they are always close to the population to support them and come from time to time to meet them to see the difficulties they are facing in order to give appropriate answers as soon as possible. Seizing the opportunity, they emphasized the importance of the Bosali borehole, which benefit the population of Bosali, thus protecting them from thirst. In this regard, they did not hesitate to pay a vibrant tribute to the President of the Republic, who is the main instigator. After visiting Bosali Board Hall, the delegation led by the prefect of Obok, Abdul Malik Mohammed Benoita, including the president of the Regional Council of Obok, Mohammed Hamad Ismail, and the civil military authorities, went to the villages where they meet with the people of Hamar and surrounding areas. The localities of Hamar will soon be supplied by the borehole of Bosali. The work of abduction it is progress and will soon be finalized. The visit intended to note the state of progress of the work of addictions, which will supply Hamar and its neighboring localities. A struggle that is manifested in particular through the implementation of works intended to make water available, in particular for rural populations. During the exchanges, a vibrant tribute was paid to the President of the Republic, who is the main instigators of the realization of borehole of Bosali, of great utility for the whole population. The candidate elected following the regional elections of March 2022 held the first meeting at the headquarters of the Council of Arta in the presence of the prefect of Arta's region, Mohammed Sheikh Hassan. The newly elected candidates, headed by the President Elmi Bouha, thanked the voters of Arta for choosing to elect them for a new 5-year term. All of them promised to work and provide maximum efforts to initiate a new development dynamism in the regions of Arta in order to improve the living conditions of the population. They stressed the major economic and industrial project underway in the regions will allow for a transformation of the regions with a positive spin-off. For his part, Prefect Mohammed Sheikh Hassan congratulated the newly elected officials after the exchanges of view. The elected representatives of the council and the mandate of Elmi Bouh was renewed for a new 5-year term. Ms. Sunan Elmi Hassan was elected to the positions of Vice President. The outgoing President Abdurrahman Yunus Arre warmly welcomed the incoming President Mahad Hussein and the incoming Vice President Ibrahim Guru in the headquarters of the Regional Council of the region of Dakhil as part of the appointment of the new President and Vice President of the region of Dakhil was held this morning at the Regional Council of Dakhil, a ceremony of transfer of powers between the outgoing President Abdurrahman Yunus Arre and the incoming President Mahad Hussein Ahmed, and also between the outgoing Vice President Ebo Muhammad Ebo and the incoming Vice President Ibrahim Guru. Thus was elected the post of the first secretary, Ms. Ruqia Abdul Qadir Hassan, and the post of second secretary, Saeed Ismail, also took part in this day. the prefect of the Dakhil region, Adan Drar Musa, local elected officials, elders, and ulama, civil society, different decentralized services. Thus, the ceremony was held in a very friendly atmosphere and in a very calm atmosphere. The headquarters of the Regional Council of the region of Dakhila hosted this hand over ceremony, the ceremony of transfer of powers between the outgoing president and the incoming president of the Regional Council, but also between the outgoing vice president and the incoming vice president of the Regional Council of the Dakhil. This handover ceremony was chaired by the prefect of the region of Dakhil, Adan Drar Musa, and also took part in these days the local elected officials, the elders, the civil societies, and different deconcentrated services. Then the outgoing president and the prefect of the regions of Dakhil proceeded to sign the handover document before Mahad Hussein Ahmed was officially installed on the chairs of the regional councils of the region. At the end of the handover ceremony, the prefect of the region of Dakhil, Adan Drar Musa, sent his warm congratulations to the newly President Mahad Hussein Ahmed and the Vice President Ibrahim Guru wished them success in these new duties. Following the handover, the prefect of Dakhil held a meeting for the first sittings with the new members of the executive boards in the presence of various deconcentrated services and civil society. The newly elected made presentations in the first sittings of the regional council. For the international scene, the Europe of Emmanuel Macron versus Europe of Marine Le Pen, the two French presidential candidates carry two fundamentally different projects on the European questions. We can make the choice of hope on April 24. We can make the choice of France, the Europe together, claims Emmanuel Macron, French president and presidential candidate. The candidate Emmanuel Macron still defends the European project, but he does not display the same fervors as 5 years ago because he must attract the votes of radical Eurosceptics left. I think he was to take into account the logic and second rounds, which assumes a care over vote, especially those of Jean-Luc Mélenchon. So Euroscepticism is not only of the far right, it is something that is also widespread on the left. In his last speeches, he called for a gathering of social democrats, of new Gaullists, and so that not exactly a fervent European federalist, says Christophe Sente, a researcher at the Université Libre de Bruxelles. And to close up this edition, Josep Borrell accuses Russia of worsening the global food crisis following the invasions of Ukraine. The European Union's foreign policy chief says Russia is bombing wheat stocks and preventing ships from delivering grain abroad. EU foreign ministers discussed a possible embargo on Russia oil in Luxembourg as part of 6 rounds of sanctions. However, there is no unified positions, especially when countries like Germany, Austria, and Hungary are so dependent on Russian energy. Some options on this tables include applying tariff to Russian oil import instead on an outright ban. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.